I'm going to do a face frame. I'm going to start off by cutting the front and I'm going to section off. I always said that I would never teach anyone how to do this, but hairdressing is one of those things. It's quite a tricky thing, and everyone thinks that they're a hairdressing genius. I think long hair is the hardest thing. Short hair I find quite easy. Long hair I find quite hard. So I will say, word of warning, if you do try this out, be very tentative and do it very gently and very slowly. So I'm going to take, a bit like with my fringe section, I'm going to start off taking a front shallow triangle. Now I do say shallow, so I'm not doing anything in this shape here. It's just literally across here, across the forehead. And I'm going to make sure it's exactly the same as the other side. What you really don't want is an uneven fringe. So I'm just going to stand in front and have a look. A little bit more here. Okay. So that's going to be the start of my forward graduation. I'm going to create a soft concave shape through here. So it's a soft kind of rounded shape. Not very short because I want this to sweep. So it's going to be probably, it would start about there, about chin length. And then blend it out into the sides. Starting with this first section, I'm combing this through from the roots, making sure all the roots go in the same direction, and then placing my comb in the hair and spinning it round. Now by doing that, it means the two outer sides travel further than that centerpiece, and so it actually makes a concave shape. And now here's my length, and I'm going to chip. I'm not going to cut a straight line. I'm just going to check that we've got a good base shape. So you can see it's a very soft concave shape. What I will check is that the two side pieces are the same. Yeah. I'm taking my next section, approximately 1 centimetre wide, parallel to this line here, my first section, and taking that down into the side. Again, I'm going to clip that out the way so it doesn't get involved in the rest of the haircut. I'm going to go round to the other side and mirror what I've done this side onto that one. What I'm going to do is just hold it lightly in my fingers. This is the natural fall, so it's going 90 degrees straight down to the ground. And I'm just going to take off those little bits there and do the same this side. And I know this looks like nothing's coming off and very little is coming off, but if you get carried away here, when you get into this bit, you're going to regret it. So that's why we're doing it very gently and very slowly. So, next section. Centimetre section, parallel to my previous one. and into the side. I said before, one of the things that everyone thinks long hair is the easiest thing to do, and I think it's the easiest thing to get wrong by not getting the balance, the face shape, where it's going to hit on the face wrong, and it can look terrible. So that's what I'm cutting off. Not very much, and I'm going to just hold it in my fingers. Go down to the next bit. As you can see, I'm trying to keep this as long as I possibly can. I don't want it to be short. I want this to be a kind of a long kind of look. So repeating what I've done the previous side, I'm combing my section about 1 centimetre wide down the side of the hair. I'm going to clip this out the way. Then combing this down. Now I want to try and keep this, as long as possible. Now I could cut up, but in actual fact I'm going to cut from there. I'm going to do something called slither cut or slide cutting, and I'm moving the scissors very kind of carefully, and while I'm sliding down the hair, and therefore retaining as much length as I can. So I'm just checking that. Now I'm going to check here that both sides are even. This side's a little bit longer, just at this point here. Right. Taking my next section, same again, centimetre. Get that out of the way. And then gently pulling this forward. Don't try and push it too far out of its natural fall, because if you do that, you'll end up with trouble because you'll cut the graduation too far back. Okay, so just looking what we've got. Here we have our soft graduated shape, which is quite feathery, and this will lead down because of both sides being the same. You should end up, he said, hopefully, with either an oval or a point in the middle. If it's off to one side, then it means that the haircut's heavier or longer one side than the other. So you'd need to go over it and check it a few times. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm literally going to just take off this bottom part. I'm not going to cut it with my fingers. I'm literally just going to do it using my large comb, combing the hair right the way through from the roots, letting it come down, and I'm going to chip
away, because I don't want a solid line. I want a kind of a soft edge. I'm just combing it through a few times to make sure there's no little bits that are left underneath. It's always a bit embarrassing if someone comes back 6 weeks later after a cut and they've got a bit that's about an inch longer than the rest. So you have to make sure that it's not tucked behind the ear or behind their glasses or whatever. And there we go. Finished article.
So I'm just finishing off the hair with steam pod just to smooth out those ends and make sure it's beautifully even. The great thing about the steam pod is that it's very gentle on the hair, but it actually kind of smooths it out. It's that perfect friend to have in the morning when your hair's sticking out and you want it to be straight and it doesn't want to be.